Welcome to the viewers for the lecture on RCC. So, in RCC, in the last lecture, lecture number 151, we have introduced retaining walls, types of retaining walls, and we have started with cantilever retaining walls. So, in cantilever retaining walls, we have discussed about the different components of the retaining wall, the behavior of different components, namely the stem, the toe slab, the heel slab, and also the key. The main components are the stem, toe slab, and the key slab. And when you check for sliding, if it is not safe against sliding, we have to provide additional component, namely called a key slab. Key can be provided either at the end of the wall or at the below the stem itself. And also we know that all the four components behave only as cantilevers. That is why it is called as a cantilever retaining wall. So briefly to summarize, so this is about different components. These are the different types of backfill: backfill horizontal, backfill at an angle of surcharge, and also backfill horizontal carrying traffic load. So these things, this is about the types of retaining wall: cantilever, counterfort, and buttressed retaining walls. Right. Now this is about the stem. This we have discussed in the last lecture. The stem behaves as a cantilever fixed at the base with the base slab and behaving as a cantilever, so deflecting away from the backfill and producing a tensile crack at the junction where it meets the base. Therefore, we have to provide the steel in the vertical direction. These things we have discussed. So this is the cantilever. So the pressure and all these things. We are going to discuss a numerical example now. So there will, yes, this again we have discussed in the last lecture. The location and the direction of the main reinforcement for the stem. Right. Then this is about the toe slab. We know toe slab will behave as a cantilever fixed with the stem, and left hand it is free. It is subjected to net upward pressure. This we have discussed in the previous lecture. And we have to provide the main steel. The picture on the right hand side shows the location and the direction of the main reinforcement. Right. So these are the different pressures that we will discuss in the numerical example. So this is again a picture showing the behavior of the heel slab. So it is subjected to both upward pressure and downward pressure. It is subjected to net downward pressure. Therefore, it will act as a cantilever fixed to the stem and right hand side free cantilevering as shown in the figure, and also the location of the tensile crack and also the location and direction of the main reinforcement are shown on the figure on the right hand side. So this is about the key slab. So when the wall is not, because the pressure P will try to slide the wall towards left, so there will be a frictional resistance offered against the sliding at the base. Therefore, mu W, that is the frictional resistance, will have to be more. Actually, it should be 1.5 times P minimum. Minimum should be 1.5 times the force causing the sliding, trying to cause the sliding. So if it is not, you have to provide a key slab that is also going to behave only as a cantilever. So generally the key slab can be provided either at the end of the heel slab or directly below the stem as shown in the next sketch. So that will require nominal reinforcement only. So either we can extend alternate bars of toe slab. So because toe slab reinforcement will be stopped little to the right of the stem, so that alternate bars can be extended and bent down to form the reinforcement for the key slab. So these things are already known to us. So this is about the pressure calculation. So the pressure calculation, we are going to do it in a numerical example subsequently. Therefore, so this is only to summarize the earlier lecture, right? Now we will take up a numerical example, right? Design a reinforced concrete cantilever retaining wall for the following data. Height of the earth embankment above the ground level. So this is to maintain two different levels of earth. So on one side you have one level of earth, you want to retain 4.4 meters height of earth. So this is the difference in level between the two grounds, right? And top of backfill horizontal, right? Density of earth is given. Angle of internal friction, safe bearing capacity. Coefficient of friction between soil and concrete is 0.5. This value will be required when you check for sliding, mu w equal to 0.5. When we find out the maximum and minimum pressure, we have to find out whether the maximum pressure is less than the safe bearing capacity of soil. So that is why bearing capacity is given. Angle of repose is given for finding out the coefficient of active earth pressure. So these values will be required, and density of earth will be required to find out the both lateral earth pressure. For that we will require the value of gamma, and also to find out the minimum depth of foundation also we have to use, because they are given only the ground level, the difference in ground level. So we have to find out what is the height of the stem. So we cannot provide on the ground. So we have to provide some minimum depth of foundation. So for that density of earth is given, and also safe bearing capacity. So these are the data that are required for the design. Adopt M20 concrete and the Fe415 steel. So that's about the data. Coming to the design, first we have to find out the depth of foundation. Depth of foundation is given by P by W into 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi whole square. So P equal to 220, the safe bearing capacity is 220, density of soil is 18. So substituting the values, we get the depth of foundation equal to 1.6. Other things are only calculation, and phi is given as 28 degrees, right? So 1.6 meter. So that is the depth of foundation. So already the difference in earth level is given as 4.4 plus 1.6. Therefore the total height is 6 meters. Up to the bottom of the foundation, it is 6 meters, right? Right. Now dimensions of the retaining wall. So in the case of cantilever retaining wall, first we have to fix the proportions of various dimensions. The top width of the stem, it is going to behave as a cantilever. At top we would require only zero width, zero thickness, because bending moment is going to be 0, but still we have to provide some nominal thickness. Some book will give you 150 mm, some will give 200 mm. It is going to be nominal, so let us have the nominal thickness as 200 mm, right? The thickness of the base slab is h by 12. H is the overall height. Overall height is 4.4 plus 1.6 equal to 6. So 6000 by 12 equal to 500 mm. Therefore height of the stem equal to 6000 minus 500 equal to 5500 mm, right? Now coming to the width of the base slab. Width of the base slab, you can see the width of the base slab equal to 0.5 h to 0.6 h. 0.5 capital H, that is overall height. So 0.5 times 6 meters to 0.6 times 6 meters. So 3 to 3.6 meters. So B equal to 3. Let us have 3.3 meters, right? So toe projection, so that is overall width is 3.3 meters. Now we can refer the figure also. The bottom base width equal to 3.3 meters. Overall height 4.4 plus 1.6 equal to 6 meters. After deducting for the base slab thickness 0.5 meter, the height of stem equal to 5.5 meters. 5.5 meters. So base width, and then the toe projection, left hand side toe projection equal to capital B by 3 or capital H by 6. Base base width is 3.3, 3.3 by 3 or 6 by 6. Say 1.1 meter, or you can say 1 meter. Let us provide 1.1 meter as the width of the toe slab. So total width is 3.3. Base width, normally base width will have to be designed from bending moment consideration. Now let us forget about the base width and also the length of the heel now. We have just fixed only the width of the toe slab, right? So bottom width of the stem is to be designed. Based on that, we will have to fix the length of the heel. The remaining will be the length of the heel, right? Now for designing the stem, the total pressure is, the intensity of pressure at the bottom is Ka into gamma into H. So total pressure is equal to half into base into height, that is equal to Ka into gamma into H square by 2. This we have discussed in the earlier lecture. So Ka equal to 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi into gamma is 18 unit weight of earth into H square, height of stem, square by 2. So that gives the total pressure is equal to 98.282 kilonewtons. So maximum bending moment equal to P into H by 3, because it is a triangular earth pressure. The total pressure will act at a height of H by 3 from the base. Therefore P into H by 3 will be equal to 180.184 kilonewton meter, right? Now, so that is the moment. The factored moment equal to partial safety factor times the moment. So 1.5 times 180.184, that is equal to 270.3 kilonewton meter, right? So that is about the moment, factored moment. So we are going to do it by limit state method. So we have got the the factored moment or ultimate moment, we have got it, right? For M20 concrete and Fe 415 steel, the limiting moment resistance as per the IS code, page number 96 of the IS code gives you the formula. The limiting moment resistance, that is as a balanced section, equal to 0.36 XU max by D 1 minus 0.42. So this formula is available in the code book, right? For different grades of steel, for mild steel, XU max by D equal to 0.53. For tar steel, it is 0.48. For Fi 500, if it is 0.46. These values are available in the code book. So the XU max by D is again from IS 456. So substituting the values, 0.42 XU max by D, then B D square into FCK. We are using M20 concrete, so FCK equal to 20, right? So that gives the limiting moment resistance equal to 0.138 FCK into BD square, or when we substitute the value of FCK, it is 2.759 BD square, right? So that is about the limiting moment of resistance. As a balanced section, this is the limiting moment of resistance, right? Now equating the bending moment to the moment of resistance, we know bending moment equal to 270.3 kilonewton meter or 270.3 into 10 power 6 Newton millimeter. So equating the bending moment to the moment of resistance, we get the depth of the section. So mu limit equal to, so that is equal to 2.759 mu equal to 270.3 into 10 power 6 by 2.759 into B equal to 1 meter. We are considering 1 meter length of the wall. So B is taken as 1 meter. Along the length direction, we take 1 meter length. Therefore, B equal to 1000. Therefore, 2.75 into 1000 will be the denominator. So we will get 313 millimeters. So overall thickness, so based on shear and other considerations, we can have 500 mm thickness. Nothing wrong in having 400 mm thickness also. We can have 400 mm also. That may cause some other problem, shear problem, or you may have to revise the design later. So safer side, we take 500 mm. So nothing wrong in taking 450 mm or 400 mm, right? So provide 500 mm and a cover of 40 mm. Normally for the upright slab, for the stem, we provide 30 to 40 mm cover. 30 to 40 mm cover. Therefore, we provide a cover of 40 mm. So the available effective depth equal to 460 mm. Right. Now we have to find out the area of steel. We have designed the thickness at the bottom as 500 mm. And coming to area of steel, again in the same page of IS code, page number 96, they are given the formula for finding out the area of steel. So ME equal to 0.87 FOAST. This is again formula available, need not by heart anything. We have to simply substitute the values. So MU is already known, partial safety factor times the moment. So this value already known. FY is known. We use high yield strength deformed bars 415. AST is the only unknown. D, just now we have got the effective depth as 460 mm. So substituting all the values, expanding, we will be getting a quadratic equation. So solving the quadratic equation, we will be getting two roots. So one root is 20,399 and the other one is 1769. We are going to provide 1 meter by 0.5 meter. So 20,399 is not a reasonable value. So we take 1,769 as the area of steel. Area of steel is taken as 1,769 mm square. So assuming 20 mm diameter bars, spacing is equal to area of 1 bar into 1000 by AST required. It's a standard formula. So area of 1 bar, 20 mm diameter bar is 314.16 into 1000 divided by 1769 is equal to 177. Let us say 160 mm center to center. So this is the main reinforcement. This will be provided in the vertical direction on the backfill side. Right. We know the location and direction. Next is that of distribution reinforcement. Distribution reinforcement is 0.12. Yes, if we use mild steel, it is 0.15. When we use tar steel, it is 0.12% of the total cross-sectional area. That is equal to 600 mm. So 1000 millimeter is the length, 500 mm is the width, so 600 mm square. So let us adopt 12 mm diameter bars. So area of 1 bar is 113 mm square, pi by 4, 12 square, into 1000 by AST required. So that gives 188, let us say 150 mm center. Now the wall is considerably thick, 500 mm thickness at the bottom. Therefore, the reinforcement, the distribution reinforcement will have to be provided on both sides. Therefore, if it is 150 mm center to center, providing the steel on both sides, this horizontal reinforcement 12 mm diameter bars will be provided at 300 mm center to center on both sides. So on the right, suppose if it is provided 0, left it is 300, 300, so 150, so double the spacing. So 0 on the left 150, on the right 300, on the left 450, on the right 600. So like that, when you provide 300 mm spacing, alternatively, practically we will get 150 mm spacing. Right. So similarly, on the backfill side, we have the main reinforcement. So this is the reinforcement details. On the what is shown on the red ink is the main reinforcement in the vertical direction on the backfill side. All the black dots, they are the distribution reinforcement. So on the right hand side 0, left hand side 150, right hand side 300, left hand side 450. So on each side it will be available for 300 mm center to center, but practically in the cross section we will have the value at 150 mm centers as per our design. Also on the other side, away from the backfill side, to hold the horizontal distribution reinforcement, we have to provide vertical bars also. On the other side, on the backfill side, we have the main reinforcement. On the other side, to hold the horizontal distribution reinforcement, we provide reinforce in the vertical direction also, and the same spacing 300 mm center. That is only to hold the bars, right? So that is about the main reinforcement and the distribution reinforcement for the stem. So we have completed the design of the stem, thickness of the stem, how to find out the bending moment, how to find out the thickness, how to find out the area of reinforcement. So what is required here is only the main behavior and location and direction of the reinforcement. Other things are only routine RC design. So after some time we will not discuss those things elaborately. Right. So that's about the stem, right. Next is that of curtailment of reinforcement. We know the bending moment at the bottom equal to Ka into gamma into h cube by 6. We have taken the value of h as 5.5 meters. So when you go towards the top, the bending moment will also become less because Ka into gamma into h cube by 6. H will become 5 meters, 4.5 meters, 3 meters, 2 meters like that. So when the h value becomes less, the area of reinforcement will also be less. Therefore, every bar need not be taken up to the top. So curtailment of reinforcement. So we know since the bending moment is proportional to h cube, Ka into gamma into h cube by 6. So if h is the height of the stem, total height of the stem, suppose if we want to provide only 50% of the reinforcement at a level h1 from the bottom. So 50% means if you provide all the bars up to the top, alternate bars can be curtailed at 50%. So let the height be h1. h1 is the height at which 50% of the reinforcement can be curtailed. So the reinforcement at that section, we will call it as AST1. So AST1 by AST equal to h1 cube by h cube. Or when we provide 2 bars as AST, in AST1 you can provide only 1 bar, 50% can be curtailed. So that on solving h1 cube by 5.5 cube equal to 1 by 2, or h1 cube equal to 83.1875, or h1 equal to 4.37 meters. So when we provide 2 bars at 5.5 meters depth at 4.37 meters, you can curtail alternate bars. 50% of the bar can be curtailed. Similarly, let us choose one more height, that is h2. H2 is the height at which 20% of the 25% of the reinforcement is enough. 25% of the reinforcement is enough. Therefore, AST2 by AST equal to h2 cube by h cube equal to 1 by 4. So h2 cube on solving we get 3.46 meters. Means from 0 to 3.46 meters, only 25% of the reinforcement is sufficient. Now coming to the reinforcement details, now we can see first bar, let us consider from the right, one bar is provided for the full height, next bar is provided for 4.37 meters, then next is up to 3.46 meters. So we can see every fifth bar will be available for the full height. Every third bar will be available up to 3.46 meters, and every alternate bars are available for 4.37 meters. So 5.5 meters mean 4.37 to 5.5 all bars are available. 4.37 to 3.6 first, third, fifth like that bars are available. For the top 3.46 meters, first bar, fifth bar, 9th bar, 13th bar like that, only 25% of the so this is how we have to arrange the main reinforcement for the stem in the vertical direction. So that is about the curtailment of bars. Right. Now next is coming to the stability calculation. After completing the design of the stem, before designing the toe slab or heel slab, we have to check for the stability of the wall. So coming to the stability wall, so these things can read. I am not able to do this. It not possible for writing everything and doing as we have done in the case of analysis, because this design will be lengthy, requiring some 10 pages, 12 pages, 20 pages like that. Therefore, if the concept is known, the viewers can read the material from any textbook. So that is a change in this lecture. I am not just writing and doing. That is not possible in a design paper, because a very lengthy discussion. This will require, if I write and do it, it will require some 3 hours or so. So, right. So coming to the dimensions we have fixed, and this is the retaining wall. Retaining wall. We have designed the thickness. Now we have designed the thickness. Therefore, toe slab is 1.1 meter. Base, I mean, at the base the stem is of 0.5 meter thickness. Total is 3.3 meter. Therefore, the remaining value 1.7 meter is the length of the say heel slab. Length of the heel slab is 1.7 meters as indicated in the figure. Right. Now this we have to check for the stability. Right. Now we will consider the point A at the right hand side A, that is bottom of the heel slab at the right hand end A. We will take moment of all the forces about the point. So the forces are, the stem can be conveniently divided into a rectangular part and a triangular part, and the base slab, let us call it as W3, W1, W2 and W3, weight of backfill, that is the earth on the heel slab, so that is WB. These are the downward forces, plus there is a lateral force P at a height of h by 3. Right. So these are the vertical and horizontal forces, plus there is an upward pressure. That is what you are going to find out. You are going to find out what is the upward pressure and what is the maximum minimum value we are going to. So from the stability calculation you are going to get the pressure diagram at the bottom. Right. For which we have to find out where the resultant of W1, W2, W3, WB and lateral pressure. Sometimes in addition traffic load will be given on the top. Traffic load, the backfill may be horizontal, traffic load will also be, that also we have to add. Sometimes the backfill will be given at an angle of surcharge, inclination. So in that case we have to find out the load due to that, and the vertical component of that also will have to be added. So in that case the horizontal earth pressure P will not be horizontal, it will be at an angle of inclination parallel to the direction of the earth. Right. That we will not discuss now, that we will discuss later. Right. So that's about the weights that are to be considered. Now we are going to find out the moment due to W1, W2, W3 etc. at the heel end bottom A, the point A on the slightly away the right hand side. Right, you can see. Now to calculate the weight, W1 equal to, the top width is 0.2, so 0.2 into 5.5, 0.2, so the first calculation you can see the table, it is 0.2, height is 5.5, we are considering 1 meter length of the wall, that is why it is specifically given loads per meter, and in the horizontal direction we are considering 1 meter length of the wall. Therefore 1 into 0.2 into 5.5 will give you the volume, into 25 is the unit weight of concrete, 25 kilonewton per meter cube. So that gives the value as 27.5. So 27.5 is total W. Now from the point A on the right hand side, it is at a distance of 1.7 plus 0.2 by 2, that is equal to 1.8. So the force into the distance, vertical force into horizontal distance is 49.5, that is the moment. Similarly, next W2. W2 equal to W2 equal to, it is a triangular portion. So half into 0.3, 0.2 already we have taken, half into 0.3 into 5.5. That gives the area into 1 meter length, that is understood, volume, into density of concrete 25. So that is equal to 20.625. So the distance from the point A is equal to 1.7 plus 0.2 plus 1/3 of 0.3. 1/3 of 1.7 plus 0.2 plus 1/3 of 0.3. That is equal to 2 meters. So that gives the moment. The force is 20.625. It is acting at 2 meters from A, therefore 41.25. That is the. Then W3. W3 is the weight of the base slab. W3 is the weight of the base slab. Weight of the base slab equal to 3.3 meters length. 0.5 is the thickness. 1 meter is the length. So that gives the volume into 25 kilonewton per meter cube. That gives 41.25, and it is a uniform rectangular section. Therefore, from A the distance is 3.3 by 2. 3.3 by 2 is 1.65. So therefore the moment equal to 41.25 into 1.65 equal to 68.06. Next is that of the weight of the backfill. Weight of the backfill is height is 5.5 meters, width is 1.7. On the length of the hill it is standing. So 1.7 into 5.5. In the perpendicular direction the length is 1 meter. So that gives the volume. So the volume equal to 1.7 into 5.5 into 18. So that is the 18 is the unit weight of earth, not 25. 25 is the unit weight of concrete. So now we have used 18 unit weight of soil, right? So that gives and distance is 1.7 by 2 equal to 0.75. So next is the lateral earth pressure. In addition to this, we have got lateral earth pressure. There is no traffic load, there is no surcharge. Therefore, the lateral earth pressure, we are considering the stability of the total height of wall. Therefore, it is PA into KA into gamma into capital H cube by 6. So we are checking the overall stability. So we have already used 5.5 for the design of the stem. Here we have to use 6. We are checking the overall stability of the wall. Therefore, it is 6. So these are some of the points to be noted where there are differences. Yes. So this will not cause any vertical force. It's a horizontal pressure. Therefore, magnitude of load dash, distance dash, you need not worry about it. So directly you can enter in the moment column. Therefore, that gives the total vertical load equal to 257.675. Total moment equal to 535.8. It's a very important calculation. In all retaining walls, you have to do this calculation. So later we will try to reduce the time of discussion. Right. Now, distance of the point of application of the resultant from the end A is given by sigma m by sigma w. That is, these are the different pressures where the resultant of W1, W2, W3, WB and P acts. So that will be at an angle of inclination. The resultant of all these forces. So that let it be at a distance equal to Z from the point A. So Z is given by 535.8 by 257.5. Z equal to, that is 2.08 meters. Right. Therefore, eccentricity is equal. Eccentricity is the distance measured with respect to the center. So to the left or to the right. So Z minus B by 2. Eccentricity is Z minus. So that is equal to 0.43 meters. Now we have to check whether the resultant falls within the middle third. So when you divide the base into 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 like that. So from the center, half of 1/3 is B by 6. So when the value of E is less than B by 6, the base will be fully under compression. When the resultant falls outside the middle third, on one side it will be compression, on the other side it will be tension. So these are fundamentals, right? So we have to check whether E is less than B by 6. Now E is 0.43, B by 6 is 0.55. Therefore, the value of E is less than B by 6. Right. Now next is The maximum and the minimum pressures at the base are given by P max or P minimum equal to W by B. W is in the tabulation 257.675 by base width is 3.3 meters we know, into 1 plus or minus 6E by B. 6E is 0.43, B is 3.3 meters. So P max or P minimum equal to 139.14 kilonewton per square meter, and P minimum equal to 17.02 kilonewton per square meter. We find that P max, the value of the maximum pressure is 139. 139 is less than the safe bearing capacity of soil. I think safe bearing capacity of soil is 220 kilonewton per square meter. So it is less than that. It should not be more than that. So that is why we check this also, right? So 139, right? Now after getting the base pressure, we have to design the toe slab. Coming to the design of the toe slab, we know so we have to remember that the toe slab will act. So in the figure shown, the toe slab will act as a cantilever. Let us call the section above C. So that is the location where it is fixed with the stem. So above C, that section, right? So that is the fixed end, left end is the free end, right? Now we have to know what are the forces acting on this. It will act as a cantilever. The cantilever will find that it is going to be subjected to net upward pressure. On the toe slab side, there is a small height of earth that we can ignore, because our design will be only on the safer side, right? Now this is the pressure diagram. Just now we have arrived at the pressure diagram. Maximum pressure 139, minimum pressure 17.02, right? Now we just consider the pressure below the toe slab only. That is, we are going to consider the portion C, D, E, F only. That C, D, E, F, we have to find out the ordinates. That is, the ordinate CF equal to right hand side 17.02, left hand side 139.14. So 17.02 plus the increase for 3.3 meters is 139.14 minus 17.02. That is the increase. That increase is for a length of 3.3 meters. Therefore, up to the point C, it is 1.7 plus 0.5, 2.2 meters. 2.2 meters. So CF equal to 17.02 plus 139.14 minus 17.02 is for 3.3 meters. What is the value for 2.2 meters? So this one calculation will help other calculations, right? So that is about, and again we'll consider CDEF into a rectangle and a triangle for convenience in the calculations, right? So we'll consider CF equal to 98.43. Therefore, JE equal to the remaining value. JE equal to 139.14 minus 98.43. So that gives the value of CJ. So we'll consider a rectangle and a triangle for the calculations, right? Now, so this is an upward pressure. This is an upward pressure, as we already know. Just now we have discussed. This is the upward pressure. This diagram we are considering there, right? Upward soil pressure, right? Right. Now, load due to magnitude of the load, distance from C. Just now you know where C is, and moment about C. We are going to take moment of the forces about the fixed end of the cantilever, because toe slab is a cantilever, right? So about the fixed end is C here. Therefore, the force due to CDEF is CDJF is a rectangle having 98.43 into the length of the heel slab is 1.1 meter. So 98.43 into 1.1, 98.43, the length of the heel slab is 1.1. In the longitudinal direction, we consider 1 meter length. So pressure 98.43 kilonewton per square meter into 1.1 meter into 1 meter in the perpendicular direction. So that is 108.273, and the center of gravity of that will be 0.55 because 1.1 by 2. So that causes a moment of, it is an upward force. The point is to the right, the point C is to the right, so this will cause a clockwise moment, Then, so that is about the rectangle CDEF. Next is that of the triangle JEF, So it is half into 1.1 into 40.71. JE at the bottom is given as 40.71. So half into 1.1 into 40.71 is the area into length is 1 meter. So that is 20.355, and that is a triangle. The apex of the triangle is at the point C. So from C the distance is 2/3 of 1.1. That is 14.93. So these two upward forces will cause a clockwise moment of 74.48 kilonewton meter. Right. Next is that of the self height of the toe slab. Self height of the toe slab, toe slab is 0.5 meter thick and 1.1 meter length. So 0.5 into 1.1 is the cross sectional area into 1 meter length into 25 kilonewton per meter cube. So that gives 13.75, 0.55 and calculations. Right. Now the net value 74.48 minus 7.56 equal to 66.92 kilonewton meter. Therefore, the height of the earth we just ignore. Right. So the toe slab will have to be designed for a net clockwise moment of 66.92 kilonewton meter. This moment is again to be multiplied by the partial safety factor. The partial safety factor is 1.5. So this, right, the factored moment equal to 1.5 times this value, 66.92. Therefore 100.38 kilonewton meter. So coming to area of steel, we need not design the thickness because the bending moment at the bottom of the stem is much more than this value. Think once let us check it. Only once we will check it. Right. Now we know that the maximum bending moment is 270.3 kilonewton meter. 270.3 is the highest value. Therefore, the bending moment in the case of toe slab as well as bending moment in the case of heel slab will be much less than this value. We have designed 500 mm thickness for a bending moment of this value. So even for this moment, the thickness requirement is around 333 mm only. So generally, we will keep the thickness of the base slab as that of the bottom thickness of the stem. So the bottom thickness of stem is designed for a moment of 270.3. So compared to 270.3, this value is only 100.38. This value is only 100.38, roughly 1/3 of that value. Therefore, the thickness need not be checked here. So directly area of steel. So area of steel is again as given in the code book. This is the formula. So you have to use 100.38 in the place of mu, and the depth of Fy is same, 415. And coming to the base slab, the cover will have to be little more because it is inside the earth. The cover will have to provide 50 to 60 mm. For the stem, 30 to 40 mm. For the base slab, it is 50 to 60 mm. Therefore, 50 to 50 minus 600 equal to 440 mm. So other things, substitution and getting the area, these things you need not repeat. So these are the calculations. Substituting all the known values, we find area of steel equal to 652 mm square, 652 mm square. minimum area is 600. So this is more than the minimum. Therefore, we will provide area of steel equal to 652 mm square. Therefore, when we adopt 12 mm diameter bars, area of 1 bar into 1000 by AST required will give you the distribution bars as 10 mm diameter bars at 120 mm center to center. 120 mm center to center. So that is so this is the reinforcement detail. The reinforcement detail for the toe slab, we know the reinforcement for the toe slab is in the horizontal direction at the bottom. At the bottom, what is shown as a line is the toe slab main reinforcement. What is shown as dots is the toe slab distribution bars. Distribution. So we just will discuss the individual components so that when we assemble everything, you get the drawing for the final structure. Right. So this is about the toe slab. Right. Now coming next is that of the heel slab. Heel slab, again we have to do the bending moment calculations. So for the heel slab, we have to first understand the figure, because these values are taken from the table. Just remember the terms BI, HA, IGH, etc. We will go to the figure. First we have to consider the backfill, self weight of heel slab, weight of soil pressure, and weight of soil pressure IGH. So we will just refer the figure once and come back. We are going to take moment about the point B. We are going to take moment about the point B. That is not mentioned, right? Yes. So we will have to take moment about the point B. That is, the heel slab is fixed with the stem above the section B. So above section B it is fixed. On the right hand side it is free. It is free. So on the right hand side we have backfill, weight of self weight of heel slab. These two will be the downward forces in this case, and the upward pressure is ABIH. Please remember the value. ABIH is a rectangle of 17.2. So its distance from the point A, from the point B will be 1.7 by 3, 1.7 by 2, because BA is 1.7 by 2. IGH is a triangle, half into the value IG is 62.91. One is 62.91, the other one is 17.02. So these values will remember now for the time being, 62.91 and 17.02. Right. Coming to this table, a load due to the backfill is 1.7 is the length of the heel into 5.5 into 18 unit weight of earth. That is very important. So when we take moment about the point B, distance is 0.85. So force into 0.85, that will give you a moment equal to 143.06. And this will be a clockwise moment, because the weight is, the earth pressure is acting, the earth load is acting downwards. The point B is to the left at the fixed end. So 1 into the 168.3 into 0.85 is a clockwise moment. Self weight of the heel slab, length of the heel slab is 1.7, thickness is 0.5 into 25. So 21.25 into 0.85 equal to 18.06. That is equal to 161. So these two, when added, will cause a clockwise moment of 161.12 kilonewton meter. Right. Coming to upward soil pressure, just now we have seen. So BIHA is 17.02 kilonewton per square meter. What is the area? The length of the heel is 1.7. Perpendicular direction it is 1 meter. Therefore, that gives the upward pressure. Upward pressure is 28.934 into distance is 0.85. It is rectangular pressure diagram. So 24.59. Coming to the triangular pressure, half into 1.7 into 62.91. Of course, into 1 meter. Right. So that is 83 point something into 1 third of 1.7, that is equal to 30.3. So these two will cause anti-clockwise moment about the point B. So clockwise moment minus anti-clockwise moment will give you the net moment equal to 106.23 kilonewton meter. So this again, this 106 kilonewton meter, or even after multiplication by the partial safety factor, say after multiplying by partial safety factor, the value is 159.345. Again, the thickness available is more because we have designed the thickness of 500 mm for a moment of 270.3 kilonewton meter. Now it is only 159. Therefore, thickness need not be checked here also. So partial safety factor, the factored moment. So this is the value. So we are directly finding out the value of steel, area of steel. So mu equal to, again the formula in the code book. So mu is 159.345 equal to this value. That will give you AST equal to, these are all only calculations as we have seen earlier, a little detail in little detail. So AST equal to 1056. You got two values, you take 1056. So 1056 is more than the minimum. Minimum is 600, so it is more than the minimum. So spacing of 16 mm diameter bars. So for the heel, since the area is more, we will go for little larger diameter, because when we go for smaller diameter, the spacing will be very closer. So we go for 16 mm diameter bars. 16 mm diameter bars at a spacing of 180 mm center to center. Area of one bar into 1000 by AST required is a standard formula, right? Therefore, 16 mm diameter bars will be provided at 180 mm center to center. Distribution bar, as in the case of toe slab, same thickness, so minimum 0.12%. So same 10 mm diameter bars as in the case of toe slab will be provided at 120 mm center to center. So here this is the reinforcement details for the heel slab. The horizontal bars that is provided at the top is the heel slab main reinforcement, and the dots circles are the heel distributors, 10 mm diameter bars and 120 mm center to center. So when we combine everything, we get the cross section of the total retaining wall, right? Now next is that of check for the sliding. So the total pressure P equal to K into Ka into gamma into H square by 2, sliding of the total wall. Therefore use capital H. So capital H is 6 meters. So 116.964 kilonewton meter K and gamma and H square by 2 will try to push the wall towards left, right? We know from the stability calculation table, we have the value of W in the second column. In the second column, sigma W we have. So that force, if W is the total vertical force, if mu is the frictional resistance offered against sliding, mu times W is the force that will be resisting the sliding. So mu times W. Mu times W here is 128.8375. Actually, the value of mu W by P will have to be a minimum of 1.5. Now here mu W by P is only 1.1. It is less than 1.5. Therefore, it is unsafe against sliding. So we have to provide additional safety. Additional safety means you provide one key slab, that is below the stem or at the end. When you provide a key slab, so if at all the wall has to slide towards left, it has to slide along with the wall and the height of earth to that. Suppose if you provide 300 mm thickness, 300 mm as the height of the key slab, so the wall will have to slide along with the 300 mm height of earth below the base slab. So that will cause additional safety. That is a concept that is involved. So that is the purpose of right. Again, already we know how the key slab behaves. It's again a fourth cantilever. How it behaves, where we have to provide main reinforcement, that we have discussed in the earlier lecture. So that need not be repeated here. So how to design the key. So therefore, when it is less than 1.5, a key slab is needed. So key slab. So therefore, the soil pressure in front of the proposed key, that is CF. That is when you provide the key slab, below the stem, at that distance it is 98.43. The pressure varies from 17 point not something to 139. At the point C, the pressure is 98.43. Already we have seen. We have used this value for the design of the toe slab also. At that location, the pressure is 98.43 kilonewton per square meter. So passive pressure is equal to Kp into P. Kp is 1 by Ka. The passive pressure is 1 plus sin phi by 1 minus sin phi, or it is 1 by Ka. So that is equal to 272.66 kilonewton. This is the passive pressure. Therefore, the total passive pressure, suppose if we provide a height of key equal to 0.5 meter, 0.5 meter is not necessary, but still we can provide 0.3 meter, that is sufficient, but it is a little extra only, 0.5 meter. So in the 0.5 meter height, the passive pressure is equal to 272.166 into 1 meter length into 0.5 meter depth is 136.3. This is the additional resisting force available. Already there is a force of mu W is 128.8375. Now it has to, the additional resistance will be 128 plus this value, 128 plus say 136. So 136. So therefore 128.8375 plus 133.33 by the force causing the sliding, force that causes the wall to slide is 116.964. 16.9. Now these are the two resisting forces, 128.8375 plus 136. So these two when added and divided by 116.964, you get 2.27. The factor of safety required is only 1.5 only. That is why I told we can go for a depth of 0.3 meter. That is enough. That is more than enough, right? And we have to provide some minimum reinforcement. Minimum thickness and a minimum reinforcement is 0.3. It is 0.3 for the foundation, 0.3. And since we are using tar steel, we can go for 0.24. 0.24 we can go for. So that we can provide the reinforcement as discussed. All the bars of the toe slab main reinforcement will be bent down to form the key slab reinforcement. Plus you have to provide one additional bar in the middle. So here because we have provided more thickness, we have provided 300, that is enough. 300 is enough, minimum 300. 500 is, therefore we get more reinforcement. So this much is not necessary, that much thickness is also not necessary. We have provided more depth and more thickness, therefore 0.3 is 1500 mm square. So it is a little over only, right? So this we can reduce. Only nominal thickness and nominal reinforcement will be generally required. So that is about so that's about, that completes the design. So this is the reinforcement details. Reinforcement detail we can get it from any book. This is the cross section. Cross section including the curtailment of reinforcement at different levels. We have seen by a hook. We have seen different level, 3.46, some 4.53 and 5.5. Already we have seen how the vertical bar will have to be curtailed. And the base slab. Coming to the toe slab, the main bars will appear as lines in the, and distributors will appear as dots. So in the plan, we are going to consider 1 meter length of the wall. Therefore, in the longitudinal direction, you have to extend the reinforcement end to end. But in the plan, on the left hand side, you have to give cover. We have given the cover in the figure. On the right hand side, where it is stopped, we will have to stop. Similarly, on the in the case of heel slab also, we have to give cover at the right hand side because there ends, the wall ends. But whereas in the longitudinal direction, we are considering 1 meter in between, therefore the bars will have to be extended out, because when we draw the reinforcement details, we will have to be careful in providing cover, where we have to provide the cover, where we have to. So longitudinal direction we have considered some 1 meter. So it's a continuous wall. It's a continuous base slab. So that there you have to take the bar end to end. But on the right hand side, you have to give cover. Similarly, in the toe slab on the left hand side, you have to give cover. So this is how you have to draw the plan. So these details are given in any book, and so this is the cross section. This already we have seen. Here also we have seen only the main reinforcement and distributors. So the bars are to be simply extended. The bars in the cross section are to be simply extended, and we have not shown the reinforcement for the base slab, toe slab and heel slab. It is not shown here. So what appears as line there will appear as dots here. What appears as dots in the cross section will appear as a line here. So those things are not shown, and also the key slab reinforcements are not shown. So that completes the design of a cantilever retaining wall. So if you are familiar with the behavior of the components that we have discussed earlier, and the different design details of various components and the location of reinforcement from this, when you combine these two, I think the viewers will have good satisfaction. The only thing is I am not able to write and discuss because it is a very lengthy discussion. So that you can understand, and I think other cases, backfill at an angle of surcharge, backfill at carrying traffic load, I will discuss in a future lecture. What are the additional points that are to be done? That I will just discuss in the future lectures. So with this, let me complete the design of a cantilever retaining wall with horizontal backfill. Right. So thank you for your patience. Thank you.